Would like to thank the SSTG management and head of the department, as well as Sitarthi Chaube sir, for inviting me to deliver the talk. Okay, let me start. For me, share the screen so that I hope the screen is visible, madam.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, fine. Okay, I hope today is my session is second one. That's why let me recap the basic IoT architecture, because most of them are the faculties and some of them are postgraduate student, so that it will be helpful for them. Basically, when you're developing any IoT architecture, any IoT prototype, you need to consider this is a basic IoT architecture. Okay. Okay. In the basic IoT architecture, first initially you have the IoT device. Generally, you are making up the IoT device using various sensors and as well as microcontrollers. Means IoT device you are making up available sensors plus your any one of the microcontroller. Now, what is the job of the sensors? Sensors used to sense the data. For example, you are developing a IoT application for the agriculture oriented. Now you have the various sensors like moisture sensor and humidity sensor and temperature sensors. That's available sensors you are going to collect it, and further you are going to interface to any one of the microcontrollers. The microcontroller example, you are taking Arduino. Maybe either you can go for the Node MCU, or you can go for ESP8266, and as well as you can go to RPi. Now, okay, what is the job of microcontroller here? The sensor job is to sense the data. The microcontroller job is to collect the data and as well as process certain extent if required, then communicate to outside. Means this microcontroller having processing module and as well as communication module. That's why you are going to deploy into that. Now, when you are making these two together, you are calling it as a IoT node. First, when you are developing any IoT prototype, first and foremost thing, you are making a IoT device. Now, as I said, this IoT device having some communication module. Okay, it should be communicate to the outside the world, because the subject is called Internet of Things. Now your thing is connected to the thing, now connected to a microcontroller to collect the data. But next word is Internet. It's supposed to communicate to the outside the world. For the sake, communication module is required. Now, suppose in certain applications, you are making only single IoT node, but in certain situation, you are going to make more than one IoT node. Suppose IoT node 2 and IoT node 3 and IoT node 4. Okay, these all IoT nodes are going to collect the data to a single gateway. Now, gateway's duty is to collect the data from various sensor nodes. For example, you develop a single IoT node, there is no role of gateway. When you develop multiple IoT nodes, take example of agriculture point of view. Now, your agriculture land is maybe certain huge range. Now, to collect the data of this field, you kept one IoT node, there another IoT node, another IoT node, like this. Now, if you put in between some gateway, his duty to collect these 4 IoT nodes data, push it to the internet. Okay, in that context, it required the gateway. First job of the gateway is to collect the data from various sensor node. The second job is that, now when you come to this IoT nodes, let me erase. When you come to this particular IoT node, these all IoT nodes are uses a protocol standard is called wireless. But whereas other side, you have the wired communication. To make the conversion between to make the proper communication, there is a necessity of the gateway also. These are the two reasons why gateway is used in any one of the IoT application or any one of the IoT prototypes. Now, the gateway is collected. Now, other side of the gateway is a wired network. The left side is completely wireless communication. Okay, now the wired data is collected data that is going to push using internet to the cloud. Okay, you got doubts, sir. What is the role of cloud in IoT? Please do remember, without cloud, IoT technology is invalid. And as well as if you develop any prototype without any cloud, it not makes sense. The example of clouds, you might have seen ThinkSpeak and Google Firebase, like UB Dots. Many cloud services are available in the internet. You can make use of some of the cloud services are free, some of the cloud services are you need to pay the amount. Okay. Now, what is the role of cloud? Okay. Can anybody guess why required cloud in IoT? Anyone? What is the role of cloud in IoT? Anyone can unmute and answer it. Anyone have an answer?
Sir, for storing the data that are transmitted via sensors via IoT devices.
Very good. Why can't I do with help of normal private storage?
Sir, you can do by private storage also, but if you use the cloud, then we can access it from anywhere.
Very good. Very good. That is a okay. Generally, when you use the cloud, thank you for your answer. When you use the cloud, there are two advantages. One is, as my friend suggested, the cloud can, if you store the data in the cloud, it can access from anywhere. That is a one advantage. Second, when you come to IoT, Internet of Things, you have the sensors. Okay, sensors, assume it in a particular scenario, it is generating 1 kilobits per second or 1 megabits per second in one IoT network. You imagine per second, per minute, per hour, per week, okay, maybe per year, like that. You can imagine the large volume of the data is going to generate from the IoT sensors. Now, if you make my private storage, I may not have that much storage space. But whereas in public, you have the unlimited space. Unlimited in the sense you have to pay the amount to them, then they will provide. Your sensor capabilities are increasing so that your cloud is going to provide. I hope you are experiencing in a daily life. Suppose you are using iPhone or Samsung, they have their own cloud repositories. They said that yes, I have stored 1 GB of data, 1 GB of your personal information, either photos and videos. Further, you want to store, pay per month 10 rupees, pay per month 75 rupees. Suppose if you pay, they will provide how much space you want. Okay, these are the two advantages. Why are we using cloud with the IoT? That's why whenever you develop an IoT application, don't forget and integrate cloud concept into that. Suppose if you write any technical paper also, it must and should uses the cloud concept. Otherwise, your architecture or whatever the prototype you have developed, that not make sense. Okay, now as my friends suggested, now data is stored in the cloud. In that, one of the advantage can access. Now, once the data is stored in the cloud, somebody need to access that. Otherwise, there is no use. There is no use. For the sake, the fifth element is called mobile application or web application. Why? Suppose you develop a IoT application to monitor your fields in the agriculture. Yes or no? I developed a various sensor nodes, means IoT nodes, and deployed it. Now these nodes through gateway, it is connected to the outside the world. Now why this IoT, I word came Internet of Things, this entire agriculture farms are connected to the internet. What is advantage when anything is connected to the internet? I can access from anywhere. I can access from anywhere. Like for example, you take olden days, olden days you have the bank transaction. Take the 5 years back or 10 years back. Every time you have to go to the bank and deposit the money and withdraw the money. There is no other alternative. But after that, what they said, okay, ATMs they introduced, but still people are not convenient. Then they introduced the concept of mobile banking. Just you take the mobile app or web app, web application, just log into your account, you do whatever the transaction you want. You want to transfer, you want to deposit, you can do anything. Now that is possible with help of certain applications. Okay, that applications are mobile application and as well as web application. That's why whenever you develop any IoT project or IoT prototype or IoT research, which end-to-end application, these 5 elements must and should present. Otherwise, it is not considered as any kind of IoT architecture. Okay. Now, what is the role of IoT? I hope you already know. It is a buzzword because a lot of why AICT is conducting so many workshops to disseminate the knowledge of the IoT, because the next generation, so much job opportunity is going to come in IoT sector. Because please do remember, you take your home, a scenario. In the scenario, you may have in your home, for example, 4 people are staying. Okay, they may have the 4 computers or 2 computers, maybe 2 mobile devices, only connected to the internet. But the same home scenario, if I try to bring in IoT context, you may have n number of things. Maybe I can say that 4 times things will be available to connect to the internet. Example, your smartwatch is going to connect to the internet. Your fridge is going to connect to the internet. Your AC is going to connect to the internet in coming days. Now it looks fun. Is it possible or not? But in the coming days, yes, it is possible. Even you see, please remember, once upon a time when they introduced the mobile banking and web banking, people laughed at. Is it possible? Is it possible someone can sit at home, do the transaction? Now it is reality. Similarly, IoT is also it is in the infancy stage. That's why this AICT or most of the people or most of the institutes offering the course in IoT area because of this. In the coming days, the lot of research and as well a lot of job opportunities part of it. Why? Because in your home, four computing devices are connected. In coming days, down the line, after 10 years, 12 years, maybe 16 devices are going to connect. Just it is a simple example, simple calculation, maybe many more. Just I'm taking four times then your computing device. You can imagine if 16 computers are connected to the internet, how tough to manage. Like that, take in the globe, entire globe, how many houses, how many people are living. These all, each house, 16 devices are going to connect to the internet. How many challenges are there? You can imagine. That's why these all challenges need to be solved on next generation engineers like us. That's why more research opportunities are there in this particular context. What is a major role of the IoT? Please, you can see transforming the interaction between the cyberspace. Cyberspace means your internet space to the physical space. Physical space means your house. Your house having 4 rooms. I am going to monitor what are the temperatures of your house continuously. Why I am monitoring? For example, in your home, some elder person is sick. I cannot put him 24/7 in the hospital. I put him in my house in a particular room so that I can monitor his vital parameter time to time. Imagine that facility currently is not there. Maybe if IoT becomes reality, a patient can sit at home, just plug in to the certain XYZ small components to his body so that it can be monitored perfectly, so that the instant delivery of the instant monitoring of the vital parameter and teleconference, what is it, video conference based healthcare delivery is going to come up in future. Okay, to fulfill that vision, IoT is going to play a vital role. That's why it is converting all physical space to cyberspace. Okay, now to give a good analogy, I'm telling you other point. Why machine learning is very crazy nowadays and buzzword, but olden days, can anybody guess why ML? Everybody talking about ML. Anyone? Why everybody want to learn machine learning algorithms from school to so and so postgraduate level? What is the reason or what is the motivation behind it? Anyone? Okay. Now, my view on this, why ML is so crazy. Okay. The main reason is that the once upon a time, there is a lack of digital data. Lack of digital data. Okay, there is no data. If there is no data, you cannot take decision. But because of this digital world, you have lot of information at your end. Now, when you have the 1 GB data, 1 TB data, the processing by the small algorithms, traditional algorithms are very tough. That's why now we required some kind of intelligent or advanced algorithms. They introduce the machine learning concept. The IoT is also going to play a vital role to convert your physical space to cyberspace. Means your physical information is going to convert to your cyber information. Example, now you take in every home, there is a small kids. Okay, what is the problem? All of a sudden, the kid is crying. Our kid is continuously crying. His temperature is increased. You rush to the doctor. The doctors asked you from how many hours he is crying or what is his health condition. You don't have a data. You are giving vaguely some answer. Past 1 hour, past 1 day, past 10 days, like that, vaguely, but it is not correct. Because you are not giving a correct information to the doctor, obviously doctor cannot diagnose you properly. Other side, if IoT becomes more reality, I developed a simple small device which attached to the baby. Okay, the device duty is that to monitor the baby postures, maybe his sound is crying and is maybe temperature monitoring, like and so on. Just you attach the device to that baby, that entire information is loaded into the any cloud, either Google Firebase or UbiDots or ThinkSpeak or some XYZ, Amazon cloud or etc. etc. Now, the moment data stored, the moment you take to the doctor in a scenario 2, the doctor just will enter the ID, just he will observe his history past 1 year, past one hour, past 2 hour, past 3 hours, so that he is able to take exact decision. Yes, this baby having this reason, this baby having maybe this reason, due to that is crying or is unable to take food, like and so on, so that he can suggest appropriate information, appropriate diagnosis to you. See how life changes when something new comes to our life. Okay, that is called IoT, Internet of Things. Obviously, it is going to play a very, very important role in our life to improve the quality of life. Okay. Now, as part of this, I'm not going to talk about all the applications and so on, because other speakers are already talking on that. Now, as I said in my first slide, okay, now your sensor node is sensing the data. If it is not sensing and pushing the data, I cannot call as a IoT, because things are not connected to the internet. Things are not communicated to the internet. Means what I want to conclude here, the communication is going to play a very, very important role. If you are not able to sense, if your data is not reaching, then your entire vision of the IoT architecture is going to fail. That's why I'm telling the communication is going to play a vital role. Okay, now what is the current scenario of why people are not focused? Everybody is majorly working on that. Develop a IoT application to measure the soil moisture. Develop the IoT application to find the disease infection, like small IoT applications they are focusing. But very important thing you need to focus is a communication, because if it is not communicated, your IoT's vision is failed. Now, what is the current? Why people are not focused in the communication area or communication protocols area? Because please remember, now you are sitting in your home, I am sitting in my lab delivering the lecture because of a standard communication protocol protocol stack is available over the internet. That is a call. What is that? Can anybody answer? What is the standard communication protocol is used in the internet for communication? Anyone? Anyone have answer? I hope most of them are faculty community and PG students. I hope they know. Okay, I'm repeating the question. Okay, what communication protocol or what communication protocol stack is used in the internet to communicate as we are experiencing. Okay.
Sir, TCP/IP?
Very good. Thank you. Yes, TCP/IP protocol stack is used in the internet. Okay. Now, when they started the internet, maybe 1917s or 1960s, that time, just they made computers to connect locally and communicate. After that, somebody, ARPANET, these all, okay, so many research happen. Then they introduce the protocol. Why can't only two computers connect locally? Why can't two computers connect globally? Then they introduce the concept of layering. After that, they introduce in the layering, first they introduce the concept of protocols one by one. Okay, then they somehow a standardized called TCP/IP protocol stack. Now we are also in the similar stage. What we are doing currently, I am developing a simple IoT node and I am making communication using Wi-Fi or something. But that's why I'm telling this slide talk about motivation, why communication is very, very important. And what is the current scenario of communication in the IoT prototypes which we are developing at lab scale, which we are developing at the some other. These current IoT prototypes are standalone deployment in the sense, no network. Please do remember, you take your lab where you are sitting, you have 60 computers are connected in the network. Then other side, if you go another lab, their 60 computers are connected in network. Now these two networks are connected through one switch. Then that switch is connected to a router. From there, outside communication is happening. This is there in the internet. That happened after internet evolved after so many years. The similar situation we are in the IoT era. What is that? The current IoT prototypes is a standalone. Just I am using a temporary communication protocols and communicating. That's why not used any standard communication protocol as of now. As of now, we are using whatever the internet communication protocol stack in TCP/IP. But I argue, or I can confidently say that this TCP/IP protocol stack may not useful for the IoT communication. They have its own challenges. Can anyone guess what are the challenges? Why can't we apply the TCP/IP protocol stack as it is for IoT communication? Anyone? Yes, it is little tedious process to bring the TCP/IP protocol stack for IoT. The one reason is that the TCP/IP protocol stack I am implementing on the computing devices, whereas IoT is a small device. Means there is a basic difference between the computer or mobile phone to the IoT node. When you come to computer and mobile phone, it has a unlimited energy source. Maybe some extent can compute high value. But whereas in IoT node, it is a small sensor node, it's a small microcontroller you are using. It don't have that much computation capability. First thing, because of that, you are able to deploy your IoT node everywhere and that can be useful for everywhere in any large IoT applications. And energy source, the current IoT node is going to talk about wireless. Okay, there is a very less possibilities to connect your IoT node to wireless communication. Okay, these are the two basic reasons. In my view, the TCP/IP protocol stack is very tough to implement to the IoT communication. Then it's our duty to think what kind of new protocol stack required to make IoT network. As of now, we are not talking IoT network. We are talking just connecting things to the internet. We should think how to make IoT network so that only IoT devices can form a network and communicate each other. Okay, now the current IoT communication is not bothering of quality of service because just sensing the data is a big job. We are happy with only sensing the data. We are not looking, yes, now it is sensing, but the sensed data, how much reliable, how much correctly transferring to the destination. Okay, these all we are not bothering. Current IoT also not bothering about quality of service. And no standard message type. When you go for internet, if you use as a TCP/IP protocol stack, in that HTTP protocol, if you use, there is a standard definition is mentioned, or standard message type is mentioned, how you are going to use it. But when you come to IoT, as of now, the standard message types is very tough, because somebody is sensing healthcare data, somebody is still sensing agriculture data, somebody is sensing what is it, industrial information. Every data having its own different type of formats. Then how to bring common message format, that is a big challenge. And current solutions are not bothering about scalability and reliability aspect. Now, this is my motivation why someone should think towards the communication protocol side. Okay, why someone should start looking into lightweighted communication protocol, so that I can make IoT nodes in the form of network. I can make standard communication protocol. I can think, I can bother about quality of service. Then I can think about, yes, whatever you do, whether you do healthcare data, whether you do agriculture data, you are going to get a standard information. And you can think about reliability aspect. That's all. Okay, these are basic architecture someone given in some research paper I have taken from that particular paper. But these are not standardized like our TCP/IP protocol stack. Okay, as I have completed half an hour, anybody have any question I can answer? I'm pausing for 1-2 minutes. Anyone, please feel free to ask. It is not a class. Okay, let me proceed. As I said, in the internet, we have the TCP/IP protocol stack, which is a 4 layers. I hope everybody knows 4-layer stack. Like in the down, you have a data link layer, the network layer, transport layer, and as well as your application layer. Similar manner, somebody propose, okay, this can be a IoT reference architecture for communicating. Suppose you take the down, you have the device layers, means what we are talking, sensors, IoT nodes are going to place in this particular device layer. Then after that, whatever the devices is going to sense and going to communicate to make the network to do that particular XYZ duties, they introduce the concept of network layer. Now, through the network layer, through the transport layer, you're able to sense the data and you're able to collect the data. Now, whatever the data you collected, some kind of pre-processing we need to do. Okay, to do that pre-processing, but whereas in a TCP/IP protocol stack, this facility is not available. Because why this facility is not available? As I said, when you are making IoT node, this IoT node having 3 important functionalities. One is sensing, one is collecting, and one is communicating. Yes or no? Now you see that your IoT node is going to collect the data. Whatever the collected data, you need not push to the outside the world. For example, you are collecting 1 megabits per second. But in that, suppose you take a scenario, I'm monitoring the temperature of a person. Suppose in a minute, there is no much variation of the temperature. Why should I send unnecessary this temperature? Can I apply some kind of average? Suppose you collected 10 values. Out of 10 values, you made an average, then you send only average value to that. Means what I did here, some kind of processing I have executed. Now, this layer is going to do that job. Service support and as well as application layer. Generic service capability is going to do. Then after that, you have various applications. Maybe you are developing IoT applications for the weather monitoring, you're developing IoT application for X, Y, Z, like, and so on. Okay, these are the various functionalities of the IoT architecture. Okay, this is what I have explained. It is there in the slides. Now, this is also another general architecture I took from one of the research paper only. Basically, how means the combination of when you sense your data from a particular node, how this data going to the cloud. Similarly, here you have some kind of sensors through gateway, through mobile, and is going to communicate. But as of now, what we are doing, just developing a small mobile application, a small IoT applications, making Wi-Fi communication through your mobile data. You're able to send it to network. Through that, it is storing into a cloud. Maybe some mobile application you develop. Means we are bothering only a standalone communication. But very few IoT applications having a multiple IoT nodes and network that was lagging because the communication protocols which are available is not so popular, is not so standardized. There is no standard reference architecture for IoT communication as of now. This is the reason. Now, when you want to develop a good IoT applications, this is an ecosystem, means all are involved. What is the role of them? You can see that in the IoT reference architecture, which I shown here, down you have a device layer. Yes or no? Suppose over the electronics background, maybe there the single line objective is that how to develop a small or tiny sensor node, which is energy optimized, which is communication properly, which is less cost. That is called device providers. Now, once you provide a device, then what will happen? It should communicate to the outside the world. That's why someone's supposed to be there to make the network. In some communication protocols, someone need to derive to communicate the outside the world. Means network provider also important. After that, to make the communication, to make the interface properly, someone should provide a platform. Means some kind of web interfaces, some kind of platforms need to be provided so that the communication will be very standard. Like, for example, you see, I'm communicating to the internet. How it is possible? Somebody provided a interface is called Google Chrome, or somebody provided some other a platform so that I am able to communicate to the internet flawlessly. Then now these all you are doing, means device is there, network is there, platform is there. That is for the some kind of application. The applications can be many. IoT, you just see your around. Everything can be connected to the internet with help of IoT application. That's why, see, when you want to develop a simple IoT prototype, you need not require a sophisticated device. Very small amount. If you invest 4,000 to 5,000 rupees, you will able to develop a one IoT prototype. First thing. Second thing, okay, for what sake I have to develop? You see around you, lot of application is possible. Take any one of the application. You go to your garden having a lot of plants. Can you make your garden as a smart garden? You go to your kitchen. Can you make your kitchen as a smart kitchen? Means any vibrations or any sound, can you identify? Like that. Lot of, suppose, take the hospital scenario. Okay, can I make the patients to connect to the internet so that I am able to get the data very lively? That's why it has a many applications. Then applications of customer who is going to use it. And as I said, role of network means, please remember, role of communication provides the data link between two nodes. Means your things are connected, things are sensing, but if it is not connected to the internet, there is no meaning of it. That's why what is the job of communication? Makes the link between your sensor node to the internet. Next, communication type. This communication from sensor node to gateway, it is a wireline. Sorry, it is a wireless. Now from the gateway to the other part of the architecture, it is a wired. It is called wireline. Then what is the role of network here? To manage the nodes. Suppose all of a sudden you have the two devices. Okay. Now all of a sudden you brought the third device into the network. Now this device has to configure himself so that whatever the data sensed by this device can communicate to the outside the world. Now that is a job of managing the nodes, discovery of joining and leaving, whatever it is happening, transferring of the data. That is the role of the network. You please look into this particular diagram. Somebody provide a vision diagram if the smart city becomes a reality. Why I'm calling smart city? Everything is connected to the internet in the smart city. Your car traveling, the person who is doing cycling, okay, your street lights, your entire UAV monitoring, okay, so many people. Now somebody is going like this, somebody, what is the condition of your garden? What is the pollution level in the garden? How much speed a particular vehicle is going? Okay, these are the vision of the IoT to fulfill the smart city application. But in that, very important thing is that now this person is cycling. Now I have developed a one device and kept it him. Now I want to know, or he himself want to know after some days, how much fast I have traveled. Okay, how many kilocalories I have consumed. Okay, what are the places I have traveled. If he would like to know all the information, I have attached a device to him. But the important thing is that these devices, if fail to communicate to the outside the world, whatever the vision somebody coined IoT, it is not going to fulfill. Means what I want to say that the communication is going to play a very, very important role. Yes. Now it's our duty that make the proper communication standard, make IoT nodes into the network. Okay. That is on our shoulder. Now, as of now, some of the communication standard, communication protocols are available that I'm going to discuss another 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes. See, it is very clear that IoT means Internet of Things. Now things are going to sense the data, but not that need to be connected to the outside. For the sake, communication protocols are going to important. Okay, what are the possible communication protocol? As you already know that when two computers are connected in the lab, it is called which network? Anyone? If two computers are connected in the lab, it is also called. Okay, if two computers are connected in the network, that is called local area network. Means the proximity is within the lab, these two computers can communicate. When I connected these two computers to the internet, means it is a wide area network. Similar manner, when you want to make IoT nodes into the network, then there is a various network types. Like you can see, wireless personal area network, okay, wireless FAN, double LAN, NAN, like and so on. Various networks are available. Okay, what is a WAN? Means wireless home area network. And little more far, it is a called factory. Means what is the basic difference among all these networks? Just the communication range is increasing. Maybe personal area network is assume the 10 meters. Then wireless home area network can be a 30 meters or 50 meters. Now wireless factory area network, it can be 300 meters, order of 100 meters. Local area networks, maybe 1 kilometer. Then double man, wireless neighborhood, okay, wireless neighborhood network, that is little bit more, like and so on. These are the various communication standards are available. And please remember, when you are choosing any communication protocol, because many are available, but you have to find out which communication protocol is suitable for your project, for your IoT prototype. When you are choosing, what are the parameters you have to look into that? Like for example, when you want to purchase a phone, you have a lot of parameters. One is how much cost it is, what are the features, what is the battery lifetime. Basically, everybody look into these three parameters and purchase a phone. Similar manner, your IoT node is there. Okay, the main job of IoT node, I want to make this not to communicate the outside. Then there is required for the communication protocol. That's why before choosing, you should see the first parameter, how much data I'm going to transmit it. Is it my application is only 1 kilobyte, 1 KB per second, or my application is 1 megabits per second, like and so on. Based on that, you have to pick up a communication standard. Then how often, like your interval of generation. Suppose you sense the data, assume it, for example, you develop a IoT application for agriculture, you develop a IoT application for healthcare. There is a clear difference. In the agriculture, no need to generate your data frequently. Means you measure the moisture value now at 4:15. Okay, you can measure the moisture value after 20 minutes, or after 1 hour, or after 2 hours. No problem. There is no much difference in the moisture value. But whereas healthcare data, now you attach a sensor to a patient. Now, that if you're not sensing his temperature very oftenly, in the sense every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes, maybe his sugar levels is going to increase, the short span of time, then is going to be out of control. Means the basic difference here that in the agriculture sector, sometimes the data generation, means data collection, is not so often. But whereas in healthcare, the data collection is so often. Now, when you have an often collection, means frequently you are generating the data. Now, you have to find out which communication protocol is suitable for you to do that. That's why how often. Next one, how far, how much distance you want to communicate. Suppose, as I said, now this is a maybe 1000 cross 1000 agriculture field. Now your gateway is located here. Now you kept a sensor node here. But will this fellow able to communicate this range or not? Every communication standard having a certain range. Why? We are communicating in wirelessly. That's why range is also matter. And how is the environment where you are going to deploy it? That also matter. And how many sensors in one scale? Because that also value, because scalability issues. Okay. Now, as I said, we are going to discuss some communication protocols. One of the communication protocol is a LoRa, maybe 4G, 5G, and Wi-Fi, Zigbee, BLE, like and so on. These I'm going to brief, maybe 2 or 3 minutes each and every communication protocol. These I have already told. See that, as I said just now, when you're choosing a communication protocol, you have to question yourself, how much range I'm going to cover, how frequently I'm going to generate the data. Okay, how many nodes are going to present it? Here, some research paper talked about, this is about LoRa. Okay, this is about your Wi-Fi, this is a LoRa. The next one, this pink color is going to talk about Bluetooth. Then another color is going to talk about Zigbee. Okay, here itself very clear. See that when you come to coverage aspect, LoRa having highest coverage, then the Zigbee, then the Wi-Fi, or then the Bluetooth. Now, whatever the IoT prototype you are developing, it required large coverage. Then obviously you need to go for the LoRa only. Okay, very good. Now, when you want to use a LoRa, then you should see other parameters also, na? Cost. See that the cost of the LoRa devices are very high, then your Zigbee, then your Bluetooth, then your Wi-Fi. For example, you want to develop a IoT prototype with minimal cost, then you should pick up the Bluetooth. Then you should compromise the coverage area. That's why it is always challenging. Now, if you get one parameter, you are going to lose another parameter. That's why you should always gently collect or elect or choose the which communication protocol you are going to use for your IoT application. Now, all IoT communication protocol always target should be low cost, low power. These all advantage. I hope you already know that. This slide I have already explained. Now let us see one communication protocol standard. The first one is a fixed and short range. Means I am going to place my IoT nodes fixed range and short range. Fixed in the sense this IoT device is going to communicate only 10 meters. Example, you are experiencing everywhere in your daily life. Suppose you are paying the Google Pay, yes or no? Or no. Suppose you are going to a library. Now you are going to issue a textbook. What you are doing to avoid the manual, they brought the RFID logic. Just you have to take your textbook, put near to the RFID reader, then only is able to read it. Means the range between your textbook and RFID reader is very, very less. That's what is called short range. Similarly, another communication, little more range Bluetooth, little more Zigbee, little more Wi-Fi. I hope you know what is a full form of RFID. I need not explain. Radio frequency identifications. I hope they developed using RFID communication protocol lot of applications in a shopping malls. Now, what is the problem currently? Now you are going and standing in, you are going to the shopping mall, assume Big Bazaar or some XYZ shopping mall. You are going to pick up each and every item, putting into a tray, then coming and standing in the line, maybe for a while, for a 20 minutes, 30 minutes to make your bill. Recently, I saw one interesting paper. Somebody developed a solution using RFID concept. You need not stand in the line. Just what happened, whatever the stand you are taking, whatever the tray you are taking, they are going to keep one smart RFID device to that. What you have to do, take the item, read it, put it in the tray. Take the item, read through that, put it in the tray. Then finally, whatever this you are reading, the cost is going to store into your mobile phone. Cost is going to store, means you are going to open a mobile, you should open a mobile app. The moment you read through RFID and put it in your tray, the bill is going to add automatically in your mobile phone. Like as someone is doing manually in any DMart or XYZ shopping complex. Okay, what is advantage is that end of the day, you need to do all that, then mobile phone, just use either UPI or any internet banking, pay the amount, you no need to stand in the line. Okay, this idea they have conceptualized, but bring this idea into practically a lot of challenges are there, but that idea looks little innovative. Okay, they use a communication protocol is RFID. Okay, these I have explained. Next, if you want to go little far distance, the major problem with one advantage with RFID, okay, the cost is very less, but disadvantage comes the short distance and as well as low security, like and so on. And when you come to the Bluetooth, another communication protocol, this everywhere we are using in our life. Best example in your car, when you want to play songs, just switching on your Bluetooth, your car sound system having a Bluetooth, so that you are able to play all kind of songs without any wire. Okay, that is the best example of Bluetooth. Okay, Bluetooth also frequently used in our IoT communications. Okay, current Bluetooth means general Bluetooth devices are different, but with respect to IoT application, they enhanced the existing Bluetooth into BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy. The version of the Bluetooth is called 5. What is advantage is a low cost, available and ready to go. Simple BLE devices you can take and attach it and work. See, somebody developed this. Also, I got this prototype using Bluetooth. Can anyone guess what is this? Please answer it, anyone. What is this prototype? Anyone have answer?
Switching through mobile.
Yes, please. Can you repeat?
Switching through mobile. Switching through mobile handset.
Yes, means I am switching on the light and switching off the light. Yes.
To mobile.
Yes. Yes. Please stay on that. Please stay. Please don't mute yourself. May I know your name?
Piyush Lotia.
Okay. Yes. Now, thank you. Now, see what is happening. What I have to do that. This is the relay board I have connected. The relay board I have connected all the through relay board I have connected all my bulbs. Assume that in home environment. Now I need to give a certain commands. Like as I said, now you have to make a IoT node. Okay, here they put Arduino. Then for communicating to your mobile phone to this, they have attached a Bluetooth device here. Your phone having a ready-made Bluetooth. Now they schematically they put the three, they make on off and so on. Okay. Okay, my friend, what is the drawback in this? Or what is the advantage and what is the drawback? Do you call this prototype as a IoT or not?
This the range is limited.
Yes,
As far as
very good. Range is very
devices
limited.
to mobile. Actually, if you are using Bluetooth,
Yes. Okay, because you may
the
have the range of
operating range will be less.
yes, you may have the range of maybe 100 meters max. More than that, you cannot operate. But this Bluetooth is some applications, some IoT applications make sense, but not in all. That's why thank you. You can mute yourself. Now, this Bluetooth cannot be used in all IoT application as I explained. See, someone developed in a top quality journal. Maybe you know that here bottom I kept is called IoT journal. It is a 10 impact factor journal. Some researcher, what he did, he developed a moisture sensor node, standalone moisture sensor node. Okay, maybe he's digged into the soil field. This is also very recent work to 2021. What he did, he developed the soil moisture sensor and digged into the field and attached top of the soil moisture sensor some communication module is called Bluetooth. What he suggested, maybe my soil moisture sensor means right now what is the problem of soil moisture sensors? You have to make a soil moisture sensor and make the wired communication from the entire field. Maybe that is a very tedious job. Suppose when you're farming, your tractor, various things are going to move in your agriculture field, there is a chance it may cut, or rats are there, they may cut, then it is not a cost-effective solution. Then with that vision, what he did, he deployed a soil moisture sensor in his garden, and he kept some communication module as a Bluetooth. What he did, just he switch on the Bluetooth, just is passing through all sensor nodes. Anyway, your Bluetooth is switch on. The moment you switch on, you are near to this node, you are going to pair this, and whatever the moisture values, you are going to send it. That's all. That is the way, maybe cost-effective solution using Bluetooth. Simple mobile app. Your duty just pass through the agriculture field by switching on your Bluetooth, so that all values are going to sense and stored into a particular cloud or in your device. This application. Now, this is a short range communication. Maybe it is a cost effective and it is a short range. Second drawback is that the amount of data transfer is very, very less. Means it can transfer a maximum in a second, certain volume of the data cannot. More than it is not possible. But your moisture value is okay, less in a size, so that it can transfer. In this context, this is well suitable. But in some other context, Bluetooth may not work. The applications where you use proximity, these are the various solution you can use. Now, to increase the range, to increase some other features, another communication protocol is a Zigbee. Okay, Zigbee generally what happened, like as I said, the first point in my motivation is called the current IoT nodes are not networked, but when they introduce the Zigbee communication protocol, they introduced the concept of network, Zigbee network. What they did, now you develop your sensor node, top of it you put a Zigbee node. I am also developing another sensor node. I am putting a Zigbee node. Like many sensor node you can develop and put it. Now these Zigbee nodes are going to communicate a central Zigbee node, that is called coordinator, Zigbee coordinator. So that what is the vision I have fulfilled? I am making the network. But what you have to do after making your IoT node means which has sensors and certain microcontroller. Top of it, you have to deploy your Zigbee node, Zigbee communication module. It is available in the market. You have to purchase separately. Zigbee communication module means Zigbee end device, Zigbee coordinator. It has a different circuit name, circuit number. You have to purchase it. When you are making the central fellow, you have to use Zigbee coordinator IC name. When you are using Zigbee end device, you are going to use its own device. Now, so that communication is going to possible. But, sir, why I have to go? I am having a Bluetooth, I am having a Wi-Fi, like and so on. Okay, as I told just now, when I use Bluetooth, the major problem is communication range and data transmission capacity. Suppose when I use Zigbee, sir, when I use Wi-Fi, what is the drawback? You should have a internet connectivity always. Either your mobile data or your internet connectivity means your cable should be laid. Then only Wi-Fi communication is possible. But whereas in Zigbee network is not required anything. Just you have to purchase a Zigbee device so that you can send whatever the sensitive data is going to push it to a central node. Okay. Now you are going to form a Zigbee network so that the communication is going to maybe from the central node, you can push it to the internet, from there to cloud, from there to a mobile application. Okay. See, this is also very interesting application I have seen. Okay. That's why I am trying to explain each and every communication protocol with one application which somebody developed. What they did, Zigbee based, a mobile Zigbee module, like what they did. Now in the current scenario, there is a traffic signal. Now 4 ways are located, yes. Now what happened, in particular way, some ambulance is traveling. What they're doing, just they're applying the siren. Now the moment they're applying the siren on humanity grounds, if you're going on 2-wheeler, if you're going on 4-wheeler, you're giving a sign. It is a better, but this vehicle is coming and standing here. Why? What is the reason? Because here the light is red light. You should not move that because no one can cross the rule. Because of the red light, he all the way moved to the front line and stand there because of the red light. Now somebody visualized, somebody developed a prototype. I am not telling when I bring this prototype into real deployment, yes, obviously there is a lot of challenges. I'm not saying, but they visioned like this. Yes, this can be possible, but somebody should come forward. Somebody should take this particular idea, how to bring it to a prototype, how to bring it to a commercial product and look into that. What they did, now when the ambulance is passing, now they put a Zigbee device in there. That is called Zigbee transmitter. Now where you have the pole, where it shows your red light, green light, and orange light, there you put a Zigbee receiver. What he did, the moment you need a green signal, the Zigbee transmitter, which is in there in the car, is going to press some button so that what happened, this red signal is going to convert to a green signal. Red signal is going to convert into a green signal. Then through that, I am going to cross and I'm going to reach to my destination very fast. See what is the advantage here? If I use a Zigbee communication protocol, I no need any standard network like internet, mobile data, and so on. If I am in the proximity, obviously I should near to the traffic light signal, then only I can expect green to red or red to green and so on. That's why they developed this small prototype with help of Zigbee. Now, when I reach it to the smartphone, I'm making a Zigbee network and giving a signal, making the light to glow like they have used this light to the glow and pass it. This what happened. This what somebody coined their prototype. This is about I said. Next, another important communication protocol is called Wi-Fi. Okay, this is very popularly we are using at home, or everybody when they're developing your mobile any IoT prototype, what they are doing, they are switching on mobile data, making your device as a Wi-Fi device, so that yes, that can be possible. Now with help of that also, a lot of communication protocols are developed. These also very standard communication protocol is used in IoT. Okay, this is about fixed range and short range communication protocol such as RFID, Bluetooth, Zigbee, and as well as Wi-Fi. But some of the IoT applications are required long range and high volume of data transmission. That's why it is called long range IoT communication protocol. Okay, in that very popularly used narrowband IoT and as well as 5G communication, then LoRa, then Sigfox. But these also there, LTE-M, these are also used, but popularly these 4 long range communication protocols are used. Like you have, how you have a TCP/IP standard, this long range communication also is going to given by the 3GPP standard, third generation public private partnership standard. This is also one autonomous body which provides the communication standards, which currently they are working, looking into the long range communication standard. This is about Wi-Fi and so on. Like I said, but when you are going for wide range, obviously it should be low power. If I want to give example, okay, you are running for 100 meters, you need certain energy. Now same person want to run 500 meters, obviously required more energy. Similarly, now we are talking about long range. Long range. When the device try to transmit in a long range, obviously energy is going to decrease it. Energy is going to decrease. But what is our objective? Energy should be optimized. Energy should be optimized because your IoT nodes are deployed where there is no chance of continuous energy source. Where there is no chance of continuous energy source. Okay. Now, then what is their ultimate objective? Whatever the communication you are doing for long range, you should communicate with low power transmission, low power wide area networks. That's why they introduced the concept of LoRa. Okay. They introduced concept of LoRa. Why this LoRa is not so frequently used for IoT applications? Because everybody developing IoT prototypes in a laboratory scale. When you develop any IoT prototype laboratory scale, obviously it is a short range and fixed distance. Most of them are making use with the normal Bluetooth, Zigbee, and as well as Wi-Fi and so on. But that type of era is already completed. When we want to publish or when you want to make new devices, then you should always look into the real-time prototype deployment in the field. Then obviously it is required long-range coverage, like wireless communication and so on. Then with help of that, the LoRa feature, they brought LoRaWAN. Okay, LoRaWAN, low power wide area networks. Okay, LoRa means long range, but long range with low power, how wide area network. Okay, these are the various, I'm not going to technically, I'm just summarizing this slide. Okay, to optimize the energy, they used internally a lot of techniques. First thing, to communicate for long range, they used a lot of communication aspect. With help of that, you are able to communicate to that. Because as we are computer science engineers, okay, we are not, maybe some of them are electronics students also may be there. But basic our focus is how to establish a network and make network possible and network communication is possible. That's all our goal. Okay, that's why maybe the modulation technique that all the communication graduates are going to look into. Now, when you are making a LoRa network, obviously all nodes are connected, maybe some kind of LoRa gateway through that cloud, then through application, you are going to, this is about LoRa architecture. See, what they did using this LoRa, this is also one solution I found in internet. It is also very interesting. Okay, what they did, they have taken simple Arduino node, Arduino board. Top of this, you put the LoRa node. Then what happened? This node is going to communicate to a long range distance, maybe a 1 kilometer range. But LoRa having two advantage. One is it can communicate long range. Okay, it has a good battery life, but it has a drawback that the data rate is very less. Means if you want to transmit 1 kilobytes per second is very tough. It has its own limitations. Okay, now for that Arduino board, they attach this red color one is called LoRa Shield. Why you are using Arduino board? You are using a analog sensor which to sense the data. Then you attach to a LoRa, attach to Arduino, means that can comes under the microcontroller. Now microcontroller is doing two jobs. One is sensing, one is collecting, but communication is missing. That communication is possible with help of LoRa Shield. Okay, like that they made IoT node. Then battery backup, they have taken A1, A+ battery or some your mobile charger battery or something they attached so that it has a continuous. They made as an IoT node. Then what they did is IoT nodes, what they did, they are used for the application like forestry monitoring. Means forestry monitoring in the sense, any fire happen, if somebody is, some intruder enter into the forest, is taking up like some kind of important wood in that particular forest, maybe they, with that vision, they developed a prototype. Please do remember, as my understanding, now what if the prototypes available that all laboratory scale, maybe which is missing the practical possibilities. Okay, they developed with the vision of forestry monitoring. What they thought, yes, now because why they took the forestry scattered, maybe 100 kilometers or 500 kilometer radius. If I try to put Bluetooth, I need many devices. If I try to put Wi-Fi, internet connection is very difficult. If I try to make GB, it is much more tough. What they did, they attached this few sensor, temperature, light sensor, and like and so on, to the your Arduino node. Then they attached the LoRa Shield and maybe fixed it to certain plants, certain trees in the forest. Okay, what is advantage? If I deploy a node here, I can deploy another IoT node after 1 kilometer from left side, 1 kilometer from right side, 1 kilometer from back left, or 1 kilometer from the back right, like and so on. So that your communication is going to possible. Okay, now like that, what is advantage? Suppose 500 acres of radius, I may need 100. Okay, 500 kilometers, I may need 100 or maybe 500 sensor nodes, 500 IoT nodes. Then what they did, now your LoRa Shield is sensing and collecting the data. But these are transceiver, these only transmitter is there. Receiver is required. What they did, what they proposed, they made small drone. Then they attached drone and gateway. So that the drone, they started flying in the forestry. Then what happened? Whatever the data you are collecting, that you are going to push when this drone is in your proximity. Means this is the one application or one application they have demonstrated using the LoRa node. But lot of challenges may arise in your mind. Yes, I agree. When you go into the practicality, lot of difficulties are there. That need to be, one of you can look into that. If I am trying to bring in a practical, will it make sense? Will it possible? What are the challenges we are going to face? That somebody need to look into that. Then another one, using cellular communication. These are the normal Wi-Fi standard. Using the cellular communication, can we come up with a long range? That is a called narrowband IoT they introduce. These also using, these are the communication standard, but it can be a long range communication. You can see that here I have given a comparison for applications. You can see these are the various applications. These applications demand what is the range of coverage, then what type of communication protocol is suitable. These I took from some research papers and summarized here. For example, smart metering means electricity meters. Okay, what currently is happening? End of the month, some electricity department person is coming and collecting the physically reading and going back. See, this is a tedious job. The drawback is that whenever he comes, you should always ready. Your door should be open, then only you can collect the reading. Second, there is a chance of manual error. Maybe my actual reading is 100 units, he may enter 50 or he may enter 200. That error is happening. Now somebody think, can I make the smart meter which can communicate directly to the internet is reading value month-wise? Suppose after 1 month, automatically I programmed, it is going to sense how many units of energy I have consumed and push it to the cloud, so that your bill will be collected out, computed automatically, send it automatically, so that you can pay through online. What is advantage? The person need not come, first thing. Second thing, there is no errors into it. Okay. Now that range of communication can be 50 to 40. That can be developed with help of LoRa, like, and so on. That you can look into that. And also communication protocols, you can see these are the NFC. What is the throughput range? What I'm talking. Highest range is NB-IoT, LoRaWAN, and LTE, like, and so on. Mobility support, everything have. Now, when you come to message protocols, this is about communication, but this is not in the matured stage. But as everybody is looking into the communication aspect, they should know an important protocol is MQTT. I may spend another 2 minutes on this message queue telemetry transmission protocol. How it is going to work? Your sensor nodes. Okay, first of all, what is this message protocol? I hope you already know that in the TCP/IP protocol stack, your data link layer, the network layer, and transport layer in the application layer. There you have the protocol is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. But some researchers thought this Hypertext Transfer Protocol is very tough to practically implement in IoT context. Then there is a scope for the lightweight communication protocol, lightweight application layer protocol, that is called MQTT, Message Queue Telemetry Transmission Protocol. What is the job of this? Yes, your IoT nodes are going to publish the data. Published data is going to store into a server. Now this side, there will be a subscriber. Now in this context, that server is called a broker. Now what subscriber? Suppose the temperature sensor, the readings are going to decrease. I subscribed that whenever decrease in the temperature, you alert me, you message me. Otherwise, don't do that. Okay, to visualize this particular thing, they introduced the concept of MQTT, Message Queue Telemetry Transmission Protocol. I'm not going in detail in the interest of time. It's a basic difference. Okay, now I have another 10 minutes time. During that, what are the different prototypes we have developed? But in the interest of time, I brought only 3 to 4 prototypes. And as a IIIT in Raipur, we are offering this course the past 5 years to the undergraduate second semester students. Now, as a second semester students, okay, we have a sophisticated IoT lab. And as a second semester student, we used to give some kind of research problem to them. They're able to produce good research quality papers. Okay, some of the research papers I am going to explain what we did. Yes, as we told, for IoT, a good application is called smart agricultures. Okay, this paper we published in IEEE Sensor Journal a year ago. Okay, what is our vision here? We are going to deploy a IoT nodes in the agriculture field. Now we kept, means we have demonstrated a prototype level. That's why we use the communication protocol. Actually, we're supposed to use LoRa when you take the long range applications. What they did, they are going to sense and communicate to your gateway. Sense and communicating to a gateways. Okay. But this gateways, we visioned edge nodes, edge computing. Why I'm calling edge node? Please do remember this particular sensor node which we developed as a prototype. The job is two functions. One is sense the moisture values, one thing. And second thing, capture the disease, capture the leaf images so that time to time that leaf having any diseases can be identified and informed to the farmer. That's why see here in this corner we put a mobile app so that farmer will get time to time alert. Now what he did, now the my camera module is going to capture images, but what I am to do, the captured images, you need to find out the disease of the captured image. Now certain level of processing, now to identifying the disease, what happened, it is not possible with help of normal algorithms, traditional algorithms. We have used certain machine learning algorithms, but machine learning algorithm, obviously we required a training. Then what we did, the deployed trained model, we put in small gateway and put it there. Now this particular disease, this particular camera time to time is capturing and sending to that gateway. Now the gateway is a computing device, but it can compute little, but it cannot retrain the model. For retraining the model, I am depending on the cloud only. For testing purpose, I am using a gateway. That inputs goes to a gateway, analyze it. If any disease comes, that is going to inform to the farmer. Okay, with this vision, we developed a prototype at our laboratory scale and deployed into a agriculture field. You can see that we developed our in-house soil moisture sensor. What is the problem with the laboratory scale or purchased moisture sensors? It is, suppose it may not work for the deep root, first thing. Second thing, maybe that it may be corroded due to time. Suppose today you deployed, after 2 days, after 3 days, it is going to be corroded. If it is having a rust, obviously your readings are going to be wrong. That's why we developed our indigenous soil moisture sensor and deploy the camera. The duty of the soil moisture sensor to measure the moisture level. Now, if in this case, see, please remember the moisture level is fine, then motor is not on. Means we put the motor inside this particular small well we did for prototype demonstration. Then if the moisture level is reduced, then pump is automatically on. Okay, whatever the moisture value we sense, that is pushed to cloud also. Okay, this is a small prototype we deployed. Lot of research question in your mind. Sir, you take a camera. This camera will capture the figures, capture the photos of one side of the plant. Yes, I agree. But this is a prototype to visualize my idea practically feasible or not. Okay, but it has its own challenges to bring it to a complete product. Okay. Okay, this is another solution we developed, as we said. Now we can make your mobile phone as IoT device. Just what we did, this is a small demonstration. We have taken existing data set and trained the model, bring the model into your mobile phone, and we tested the disease identification of tomato leaves. Okay, just go to a tomato leaf, capture a phone so that you're able to say that where you have the disease portion and what type of disease it is. But this was, we have developed 3 years back in 2018 and communicated to a good reputation conference. Then in health sector also, we started developing some mobile phone based apps. I hope you know the disease anemia is very dangerous. What is a major drawback? Your blood cells, hemoglobin level is going to decrease very frequently. Suppose rural patients cannot go and test their hemoglobin level frequently. There is no laboratories in the rural areas. With that vision, what we did, can we develop a small mobile app, okay, which has a lot of image processing and etc. Capture your eye retina, means conjunctiva portion, and feed into your model, feed into your image processing technique which you develop, so that end of the day it gives a mobile, gives your hemoglobin value. Yes, this we have tested and proved 98% of accuracy, means we captured through our mobile phone and tested hemoglobin level, and we physically went to a laboratory and tested what is hemoglobin level. Okay, this particular work also we published in a good journal, which is given in the bottom, IEEE Sensor Journal. Then with respect to communication protocol, what are the challenges? What research questions I am leaving? Means what is the take home messages as we are reaching to end of this session? Please do remember the communication solution for IoT based smart healthcare is still not completely mature. There is a scope to work on this. And there is no proper network architecture, means reference architectures. There is no proper topological design. When you go for our network, there is a standard protocol design, standard topology, which is star, mesh, like and so on. But when you come to IoT, because nobody is thinking to make IoT nodes in the network, that's why it is a question mark. As I said, reliability and quality of service, this is going to be very, very important. If anybody started thinking, it is a right time to look into that. Because if I develop a IoT application for health monitoring, obviously I require a quality of service, because you are totally depending on IoT prototype. Now, whatever the sensitive data is not reaching to the doctor instantly due to traffic, congestion in the network, so that we may lose the patient. They can look into that. Then another important aspect is energy harvesting. Like as I shown in my previous application, your prototype is deployed in the field, but we will give continuous source. Now, what kind of energy harvesting techniques, how much energy need to be generated, where it is going to store, how it is going to interface it, all of a sudden there is no sunlight, how it is going to happen, that all can be looked into that. And next one, always we need to look at low power wide area networks. Means ultimately energy is very important factor in our daily life, as well as in the IoT context also, how to look into that. Okay, these are the research questions. These are security aspect. I have another lecture I'm going to cover on Sunday 3:30 to 5 o'clock, that I'm stopping. Okay, thank you. If anybody have a question.
Any questions?
Or you can reach out to me, this mail ID, or you Google my name. Definitely there is a mail ID. I'm ready to help you for any kind of research or anything. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I extended a really heartily thanks to our speaker who spared time from his busiest schedule to grace this session. Thank you. We had opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Vijay ma'am. Just I want to take a snapshot of the meet. Okay. So please, all participants, put your cam on for a while. Okay. Just a minute. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Siddharth Chopra here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling me. We'll discuss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. May I leave, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Thank you.